Hello and welcome to my review of the Tissot Seastar Powermatic 80 dive watch. This is the new 2018 reiteration. It's a new design than they had before. Before it was more like a tool watch, and I always wanted one. I never pulled the trigger because the styling wasn't quite there for me on those. I wasn't a fan of the snowflake hands, and I don't want to get into that watch too much. But this one here, I pulled the trigger on because I think it's a really nice watch for the money. I give it a thumbs up, and I'm going to try to convince you that this is a really nice dive watch that could be used for a lot of occasions. Right here, I like to put a carry item, everyday carry item, and this is relatively new to me. About 6 months ago, I've been wearing this every day. This is the G10 version of the Griptilian, the Mel Pardieu design access lock, and this one has the modified sheep's foot design blade. It's more of a slicer, but still a very strong blade. Really nice, one of my favorite everyday carry knives. All right, so let's get on to the watch review. There's so much to talk about with this watch. I'm going to get right into it. So right off the bat, it doesn't look too much like a tool watch diver, and that's the reason why I bought this, because I have really tool watch divers, and one of the things going on is I'm starting to date again, and I went to go out on a date, and I said, what watch am I going to wear? And I couldn't find a watch dressy enough to wear. So here's what I had to choose from. I have this one of my favorite watches. This is a Citizen Aqualand depth meter. It is a big watch. I'm not going to wear this on a date unless you're dating a diving instructor. You know, if she's a diving instructor, then she might really like this, but that would be highly unlikely. So this one was out of the running. Another one of my favorite watches I wear on my walks every day is this Luminox all stainless steel dive watch. Really nice watch, so comfortable. I love this watch. But come on, this is a big numbered diving watch and just not appropriate for a date, you know. So I'm not going to wear that. It's a nice watch, but I get a lot of compliments on this watch, especially from younger people, teenagers and kids. You know, they like the big numbers. It reminds them of their toys, maybe. I don't know. But that's a really good visible watch, day or night, underwater or not. But I'm not going to wear it on a date. So what I ended up wearing on a date was my really nice Patty Seiko Samurai Automatic. This is a nice watch, not too bad, but you know, it's got a rubber strap. It's a little bit big and heavy, and with the colors on it, it's definitely sporty. So that's not ideal either. Now this one would have been a contender. Don't worry, we're going to get into the review very shortly. But this was a contender, but I didn't have a strap for it at the time. I just got this strap. This has been sitting in my safe for a year. The bracelet was just too heavy. It was monstrous. It was close to 7 ounces on the bracelet. Are you kidding me? Just too heavy. So I sold that right away, but I didn't have this one. My aeronautic watch, pilot's watch. This would have been passable on a date, but I didn't have the option, and still it's a tool watch. And I don't have any dress watches because I'm not into that. You know, I'm not into dress watches. Well, I'd like to get one someday. I'd like to have, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure what. But then when this one showed up and I had a good deal at a jewelry store, I got it, no, actually this one I got Gray Market. So this is about a $750 watch or so on the strap, maybe $7.25. Really nice watch for that money. I'll tell you why in a minute. We'll get into it. But this one I've been wearing on dates, and it is just ideal for that. If I'm gonna wear a kind of a shiny, flashy watch, this isn't a bad one, and I'll tell you why, because I can use it for so many other things. So I kind of liken this watch to a James Bond type watch. If you look at the Omega Seamaster Professional, it's sort of shiny and blingy, isn't it? It's got a blue wave dial. The indices aren't overly large. The bezel on the Seamaster Professional is very thin and scalloped And it has sort of a dress watch feel too, but that watch isn't accused of being mostly a dress watch. James Bond uses it for everything, and that's the whole point, that he can wear that one. He's going to be in the jungles and airplanes and jumping out of airplanes and swimming in the ocean, and then he's going to be at a cocktail party. He's not going to go switching watches and bring watches. He's going to be, you know, just whatever is on his back, you know, whatever he has with him. Often he just jumps on a plane, and or he's jumping out of a window or something. He needs a watch that can handle all of that. And why not have a diver? Because water is everywhere. You never know if you're going to be washing dishes or jumping in a pool or an ocean or doing whatever. The watch has to stand up to that, but you don't want to wear a diver because you're going to be going to a cocktail party. And that's the whole point of this watch, is that you can just grab it and go, and it'll fit in almost everywhere, but yet it has the guts. It has 300-meter water resistant. It has the integrity of the case and everything, and the strap to withstand mud and shocks and magnetism and all sorts of things that a regular dress watch normally can't handle with its low water resistance usually. And so that's why I went for the watch, and it fits that bill. You could wear this with a, I mean, you're stretching a little bit on the rubber strap. If you put a leather strap on here and put it under a suit cuff, I think it would look really nice and fit in well. Equally as good as the Seamaster Professional. So that's the purpose of the watch, and that's why I got the watch. I go on daily walks. I'm always timing things. So you just grab this and turn it, and you're 10 seconds or 5 seconds, you're on your way. You know, you just set to the minute hand, and it's going to count down the minutes. And that's what I like about it. It's very useful for me, and it'll fit in. As you can see, at certain angles, you could barely see the numbers. It's not that flashy. All right, so let's get into the specs on the watch. Just give you a little bit of a show and tell there. You know, I often forget the watch I'm wearing. So wristwatch check. Today I'm in the honeymoon phase, but it's going on for like a month now. And this is my Tissot Expert 2 Solar. You know, the ABC watch, altimeter, barometer, and compass. I'm telling you, I like this watch even more than I thought I would. It's a big watch. I have 7.5-inch wrist, and the lug to lugs on this is like a 54, I think, 52, 54, I can't remember, but it's large. If you have less than a 7-inch wrist, 7.25, it's going to hang over the edge. But for me, it's perfect, and it's very, very light. But I'm going to be doing, I can't wait to do a review of this watch, and I'll be doing that very soon. If you're watching this video in the future, I'm going to do this in a few days, so odds are this will be on there too. This is just an incredible watch. Real quick, you just push the button, and this is the new one where it's all speeded up. Look how fast those hands are. It's just absolutely amazing. We'll just do the compass real quick, and there's the compass, you know, moving around. Go right back there. That's the Tissot Expert Solar. Yeah, awesome watch. Highly recommend. All right, let's get back to, let's start doing the specs and get down to business on this Tissot Seastar. All right, so the specs are, it's a 43mm watch, so not too big or small. It's getting on the bigger side, but it's not a 45 or 46 or something, so very comfortable. And the lugs are short. It's only a 47.5mm lug to lug, so it really fits well on most wrists, unless they're very small. It's only 12.7mm thick. 21mm lugs. The straps are 21. Come on, Tissot, what are you doing? You know, they really dropped the ball a lot on bracelets and straps. Their bracelets aren't the best. I've bought a lot of Tissot watches that either the strap was unusable or it's just too small. I had a PRS model, I believe, an automatic, and it was on I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and it was on the last hole on the leather strap, so I couldn't even use it. Other straps were too stiff, but this strap here is amazing. This is a really nice, as far as I can tell from the research, it's a silicone, but I don't know why they call everything rubber when they've got polyurethane and silicone and a lot of other materials. They call them all rubber, which isn't the case. Sometimes they are genuine rubber, but this is a really soft, exquisite strap. It's got a lot of little squigglies in there and grooves for you don't accumulate sweat or anything, and yet it grips the wrist. Very, very soft and pliable. It's got double keepers. I mean, double keepers, and one keeper is fixed and one is movable, like you should have. This way, if it overhangs, you can move this up and keep that from flapping out on the strap. Stainless steel buckle, beautiful tang recess in there. It's all beautifully milled, soft corners, no hot spots on here. There's all sorts of part numbers and stuff on the back here, which is barely visible. Tissot marked, really nice. It's got the pins here, removal holes, exceptional stripes. It's got a curve on there, and it fits your wrist immediately. There is no stiffness that has to break in. Highly recommend that. 21 millimeter lugs. Why couldn't it be 20 or 22? I guess they wanted to fit in with the 43 millimeter size. Maybe they thought 22 was too big, but it leaves a lot, hundreds and thousands of straps not usable. Sometimes a 22 will fit the 21, some straps, and you could try it out, and normally they'll fit. They might just be a little bit squeaky or something like that. Let's see what else with the dimensions. Oh, and the weight is lightweight on this rubber, on this silicone strap, 3.8 ounces or about 109 grams. So very lightweight. That's why this watch is very, very comfortable. Along with the smooth back, there's no sharp edges or anything. That glass is super smooth on the display, as you can see right here now. All right, so let's go from top to bottom on the outside, then we'll dive into the dial. All right, so as you can tell by looking at the watch now, there's a combination of satin and polished surfaces. Right here you have a groove that's polished, so it's not totally blingy or flashy being all polished. There is on every back, side, and top you're going to have elements of polished and satin. The top of the lugs here are polished here, satin here, polished on the numbers, and then polished on the hands and the indices. So when you look at the dial from the top, you have mostly polished surfaces, and as you go to the sides, you got the satin mixed with polish. The crown is signed and polished. On the back here, we have a screw-down back display, as you can see. And again, you've got polished and flat surfaces. But if you look at it right away, you notice it has a really Art Deco-y design elements. Those grooves, those lines in between the takedown grooves there on the back. You got 6 of them. That is just an absolutely beautiful design. The writing is, I'm impressed with the writing. Even though it's micro writing on some of it, it is extremely legible. Unlike some watches where I got to put a flashlight from the side and get a magnifying glass, it is just lightly printed or laser etched and not done very well. This is exceptional. Look how easy that is to read. The movement you see beating in there is a 23 Joule 2824-2 ETA modified. Tissot is part of the ETA group, so they have access to this movement, and they do a lot of things to it to extend the runtime to 80 hours instead of normal, 42 hours. So as a lot of people have mentioned, you could take this off after work on a Friday, put it on Monday morning, it's still going to be running with that 80-hour power reserve. It's basically an unadorned movement. Let's see if we can move that down. As you can see, except the rotor is a really nice design that fits in with the Art Deco and diving aesthetics. It's got some really cool wave motion going on there. Kind of mirrors the sunburst effect of the dial that we're going to talk about in a minute. You can see some of it there. So I really love the design, I really do. There's a couple nitpick things we'll talk about on the dial in a minute, but basically I absolutely love the design and the comfort. This case is very, very comfortable. Tissot 1883 on the rotor. You can see the little roller bearings in there. See those little balls in the middle? That's the bearings that it rides on. This movement has been giving me about a second and a half slow per day, which is within cost and it's just exceptional. And that's whether I'm wearing it or not. It's just keeping really good time. No faulting on the timekeeping on this watch. All right, so that's the dimensions and some of the design aesthetics. This is a screw-down crown, obviously, on the diver. It's got beautifully done guards. It's the angles. And again, on the top of the coin edge of the bezel, it continues on that, to me, very Art Deco design. And I love Art Deco. I think Art Deco is one of the most aesthetically pleasing designs that we've had in this in the 20th century. The beautiful coin edge is beveled upwards. As you can see, it's sort of a cone shape where it's angled more narrow to the top. That's a really nice touch, makes it more sleek. And even the coin edge is a combination of satin and polished right along that edge there. I believe that's what it is. It's really hard to tell. I think part of it, I think the inside is satin, the outside is polished, I believe. So that, since we're talking about the bezel, it is a ceramic insert. That's pretty amazing on the price point. What is the price point? Well, gray market, it's under $500. You can get really good deals at jewelry stores sometimes and get some 15% off or so. So you can get it, you know, in the upper fives maybe. I don't usually buy gray market. I usually try to get deals on authorized dealer, but I couldn't find that anywhere on this watch. So I got this in the mid fours. Really great watch. You can't beat it for the money with everything that's on here, as you're going to learn in a minute. Getting back to that screwed-on crown, it is marked, polished, not too sharp, but very easy to unscrew. Has a really nice pop. There's the pop. It just jumps right out. Very, very strong. There is no... Oh, look, you can see me in there. There I am. Yeah, really nice pop. Very, very strong stem. There is no wobble whatsoever on the stem. It has a quick set date on the first pull out. It's a hacking movement. Very nice screw down, strong movement. And it is so precise in between those guards that I don't think you could put anything, a grain of sand, nothing will fit in there. It is just so precisely made. I'm very impressed with that. It doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't extend past here, so it doesn't touch the wrist, and it doesn't jet out too far here, and so it's not going to dig into your wrist, I find, at all. And it's very light, so it's not going to be pushing down on your wrist from the weight that you would find on some bracelet watches that are, you know, 6.5 ounces. Not only that, if it did touch your wrist, it is very smooth and polished right here, so you have no issues with that. So the bezel is a 120 click, which I always like, because then you could time half minutes. You know, a lot more precise on the timing. It has a really satisfying click. And as others have mentioned, it is a little wobbly. It is not too precise. It hits the tick markers, the minute markers really well, and it lines up with the 12. But it feels a tiny bit chintzy, and it has, as you can see, it has play. So that's one of the cons we're going to talk about at the end. It'll be on the list. And it's probably the only strong con. There might be two. Oh, the 21mm lugs instead of 22. That's a con too. So these two are the only cons, and the other ones are going to be nitpicks. So not too bad. But yeah, that's a little wobbly. So that's not optimal. But it does. I don't mind it. There's so many other great things about the watch. That's not a deal breaker by any means at all. I'm not sure how they apply the Arabic numbers on the outside. They got minute markers up until 20 minutes. And then it does every 5 minutes to the 12. So you just, in case you haven't used these before, these are unidirectional, goes in one direction so you don't accidentally bump it and have think you have more timing, dive time than you do. So for safety measures, it goes one direction. And all you do is move it to the minute hand, and the minute will start counting down the elapsed time. So you could use it to time drives or walks or diving. A lot of people say that they're desk divers, and for me, I'm not just a desk diver. I'm an adventurer. I'm not a big adventurer, but I go out all the time, and I wear my watches to the beach and swim in the ocean. I live in Maine when the water's not freezing. I'll jump in a lake or something, fishing, hiking in the woods. I bring my watches everywhere. So I actually use the watches in the outdoors and different events. So for me, I use my watches. I just take care of them. If I'm going to be crawling in the mud or something like that, I'm going to wear a G-Shock or something. I just don't beat up my watches. I like them too much. So that's where I'm coming from. So ceramic bezel, really nice, except for the precision part of it. We're looking through a beautiful, flat, anti-reflective coated sapphire crystal. And that's one of the value points here. You're getting a sapphire crystal, sub $500 Swiss watch. And that's the value proposition on this watch. Before I forget, I'm going to go through all those things, what makes the watch, I think, a great value for under about $500 if you want to get it from a gray market. So it has 316L stainless steel, but I guess most watches do. It has a beautiful crown, screw-down crown, screw-down back, display back, ETA automatic movement, which is upgraded. I'm not sure if that's sapphire in the back. I couldn't find that out, but a beautiful display back. Art Deco, beautiful design in my opinion. I thought I was going to have to replace the strap because I didn't try to, I bought it online. I wasn't able to try it out, but I was so surprised at how comfortable the strap is. So the strap, sapphire crystal, the 80-hour power reserve, upgraded movement on the watch, Swiss made, beautiful sunburst dial, applied markers. I can go on and on. The lume, there's so many things that make it really a nice watch. All right, so let's dive into the dial. So as you can see right away, man, it's got that really beautiful. When it has diffused light, you're going to see a cloud-like thing like you see right here. More pinpoint light in the sun, you're going to get the hourglass effect. Really nice sword hands. You got lume on all three hands. Got a lollipop second hand that's right up. There's a little bit of extension past the lollipop. Goes right to the indices, which I really like. It's counterbalanced with the T, and that's one of the nitpicks. A lot of people don't like the T. I find it's okay, but with this watch, I don't think it fits with the aesthetics of everything being more Art Deco-y and round. So I think I would have liked a counterbalance that was very similar to the round indices, maybe something like that, a little bit bigger. Not filled in, of course, just the polished stainless steel like the rest of the hands here. As you can see, the sword hands have a lot of lume on it, as you can see right there. And the lume is really, really good. I have to disagree with some reviewers. You can't use a Seiko Monster to compare the lume of all the other watches and say that they're subpar, I believe, because that's not their purpose. You can't have the amount of lume that you have on a dress watch that you have on a dive watch. These dive watches have gigantic indices that are very, very thick with lume, and nothing compared to that on a normal watch. So I think an average lume could be used as the standard, and then the Monsters. And beautiful blue lume. And there's the pip. You can see the second hand is lumed. I'll leave a little light in here so you can see the watch. And there, look how strong the pip is. So you can just, in the dark, you can just set the time. Say you're walking at night, nighttime operations, boom. You can do that almost in dark and put that pip there. Hit it with a flashlight for 2 seconds or so and you're good to go. All right, over 30 minutes, we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see here. And I'm going to be doing a review of that Tissot Expert very shortly in a few days. So look out for that. I appreciate you watching Wristwatch Obsession, and we'll see you next time. Take care.